Hello everyone and welcome to a book review. So these, for the most part, I would say 98% of the time, are going to be spoiler free. That is no exception to this book. The only time I feel like there would be a spoiler is if I have to tell you something that can be potentially triggering to someone, or if I'm reviewing a book in a series and there's potential for it to spoil another book in the series, earlier on in the series. But for this one, I'm going to be talking about Jamaica Inn by Daphne Du Maruier. So this particular book was originally published in 1936. So, man, so in 13 years, this will be a 100-year-old story. Huh, pretty cool. Anyway, okay, so for this one, we're following the POV of Mary Yellen. This is told in, I want to say, first person. No. Third person, because it's Mary went slowly back into the house. Mary did this, she did that. So third person. So Mary Yellen lived, I would say early 20s, maybe, or late teens. Anyway, you gotta remember this was in the 30s. So yeah. Mary Yellen, within the chapter 1, I wanted to say prologue, and I'm like, I don't remember if this had a prologue. No, so chapter 1, Mary Ellen's mother dies. And the wish from the mother is that Mary Ellen go live with her aunt, so her mother's sister. And that's ends up what happens. And her aunt, crap, what's her aunt's name? I don't even remember what her aunt's name is. But the aunt married this guy, and then they now own this place called the Jamaica Inn. As Mary Yellen is headed to Jamaica Inn to live with her aunt and uncle, she finds out from some of the townspeople that Jamaica Inn is pretty much a seedy place. There's a lot of strange going-ons, that it seems dangerous, and basically no respectable person would be seen at Jamaica Inn. So she's cautioned against being there, and things like that. Now there's question as far as if the dealings on are because of man or because of ghosts. It just has this vibe that it's like you don't know for sure if it's a combination of the two. It does give quite a bit of pirate vibes. Of course, it takes place on land. And think gang as well, because it's pretty much a gang. So... oh, Patience. It's on the back. Patience is the aunt. So her aunt, Patience. And the uncle, Joss Merlin, is part of this family that also does not have a good reputation. The father had a bad reputation. Joss has a bad reputation. Even his brother has a not so good reputation. And you find out more about that. And that's kind of fun to stumble across. Trigger warning for spousal abuse, alcoholism, and death of family or death of loved ones, which I already told you one of them, but that happens in chapter 1. And that's the whole basis, and it says it on the back, with the death of her mother. So there's also talk at one point where it kind of leads to the thought that if something didn't happen, Mary Ellen could have ended up being raped, so do be aware of that as well. What else can I say about this? So Mary Ellen just goes, she finds out that her Aunt Patience isn't quite like they remember. She's not quite the bubbly personality, and she's trying to chalk it up to, is it because of how she's treated, like the spousal abuse, or is it something else? Is it the stress of owning this inn that's not making a profit? Is it a combination of things? What is Joss Merlin involved in? that's helping spread that this is not such a great place. Who around can she fully trust? She wants to try to solve things on her own. Does she witness a murder? Does she not? Is it a figment of her imagination? In her room, she's told after a certain time, don't look out the window, don't make any noises. Basically, you can't be seen, can't be heard, type of a thing. Joss does get very drunk at times, and he says some more stuff, so he gets more of a loose tongue when he gets drunk. And so you do find out some of the stuff. There is religious talk in this, part of which Mary Ellen meets this preacher type character, which is interesting in the fact that he is an albino, and that's referenced quite a bit with how light his hair is, how light his skin is. And that's really the only diverse thing I can think of in this whole book. Again, there's not going to be a lot of diversity in books written from the 1930s. So if you're looking for diversity, obviously this isn't going to be the type of a book to look into. But it's also the type of thing that you can, in your own mind, say several of these characters could be white, they could be Hispanic, they could be black, they could be albino, they could be whatever, Asian. It just doesn't go into race. So if you're looking for that, either use your imagination or look somewhere else type of a situation. This is a standalone book, so not in a series. I did listen to the audiobook with this. The audiobook was narrated by Tony Britton and is 10 hours and 28 minutes on standard one-time speed. Another thing to be aware of for those of you who might be uncomfortable with this, the words queer and gay come up a handful of times in this, and it's not referring to someone who is a part of the LGBT community at all. It's queer as in that's odd, gay as in happy. So that's how those words were used back then. They're obviously now we know them to be more a part of the LGBTQ community terminology, but again in the 30s it was queer was that's odd, that's strange, and gay is happiness. We're gonna have a gay time type of a thing. So what else can I say about this? Mary Ellen starts to uncover some stuff. She starts looking to certain people for help and revealing certain things. This is in an isolated setting. So she does get lost, but then this preacher guy shows up and does help her. And things like that. So there's really, it definitely is gothic, and this is a gothic mystery, so I don't want to say too much without going into spoilers. And I'm trying to, I mean, it's just basically you're following these innkeepers, and their niece is just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. What can she do to help her aunt lighten her aunt's load? Does she need to betray her uncle? Does she need to take over some of the responsibility of the inn and to try to make it so that her aunt is less stressed and more like her bubbly old self? So that's pretty much all I can say. Let me know, have you read this? Now, Daphne Du Maruier has written several other books. The most popular and well-known one is Rebecca. I actually liked this one more than Rebecca. Now, granted, it has been several years since I have read Rebecca, so that could change upon a reread whenever it is that I do a reread of Rebecca. But I also enjoyed Frenchman's Creek, and I would say I enjoyed Frenchman's Creek more than Jamaica Inn, but this was still a great time. Now, this particular edition has a boat. There is, as I said, think pirates. It does take place on land. There is one point where there is a scene involving a ship on the coast, and that's all I'm going to say. So the ship is referenced in this. You do get it, but it's towards like the last quarter of the book. All right, now, so that's all I can say. So again, there are some religious undertones like praying to the Lord, thanking God, that type of a thing. So the word Lord pops up 4 times. Bitch comes up once. I was actually surprised by that. Bastard comes up 1 time. I was not surprised by that because I know that term's been used for such a long time. The word hell comes up 12. The name of, and this kind of gives you a bit of more of the religious sense and stuff, but the word God comes up 39 times. Damn comes up 37. Now please be aware that sometimes it could be damnable, damnation, damn it, and just straight up damn. The word slut actually comes up 1 time. in a way that would try to be degrading to Mary Ellen. Mary Ellen does meet one person and starts to realize she's having feelings for this one person. So she's questioning these feelings for this one guy. So there is a little bit of a romance in this. Now, it does not, where this being written in the 30s, it does not get sexually explicit. There's just some longing to be around this person and maybe kiss them type of a situation. Mary Ellen really tries to think things through. So you're in Mary Ellen's head. Again, Mary Ellen's the main POV, told in third person type of a thing. But it was interesting to see her going, this is what I know of this person, but yet this is what I've gotten to know them. It's like, this is what I've been told about this person, but this is what I've learned from this person with being around them and talking to them, and things aren't quite meshing up. And so it's like, which does she truly believe? So again, slut was in here once. The phrase goddamn was in here 4 times. The name Jesus once, and the name Christ twice. On the back, it says, the inn is a front for a lawless gang of criminals, and Mary Ellen is unwillingly dragged into their dangerous role of smuggling and murder. But she's still, and so again, that tells it right on the back. So she's still trying to figure things out, but is it all, again, this seedy feelings, man-made? Is it something in her head? Is there a ghost? And things like that. So, but again, the smuggling and murder, you do learn a little bit more about that, but it is very, very much kept on the down low. Like, you don't even know a lot about what's going on with that going into the book. You are learning as Mary Ellen learns all this stuff, and you're getting one piece of information here and one teeny piece of information there. You do think you see a murder, but then you do question it, just like Mary Ellen questions if it really happened, or was it a figment of her imagination? Did she hear what she thought she heard? Did she see what she thought she saw? So you do question quite a bit of stuff, but again, you're learning along with Mary Ellen as far as what's going on and how deep things are running. So yeah, that's all I can say. I believe I ended up giving this one 4 stars. I had a good time reading it. Again, I did like Frenchman's Creek more, and I realized Daphne Du Maruier actually has quite a bit of work out. Like, she's got quite a bit of fiction. She has like The Loving Spirit, I'll Never Be Young Again, Julius, Jamaica Inn, Rebecca, Frenchman's Creek. Those are the 3 that I have read. Hungry Hill, The King's General, The Parasites, My Cousin Rachel, Mary Ann, The Scapegoat, Castle Door, The Glass Blowers, The Flight of the Falcon, The House on the Strand, and Rule Britannia are all the ones listed at the front of this book that are all standard fiction novels. She does have some nonfiction out. Not sure if I'll pick up some of the nonfiction, but she does have some nonfiction out. She also has some short stories. I definitely would be willing to look into her short stories. So, but yeah, that is Jamaica Inn by Daphne Du Maruier. Let me know, have you read Jamaica Inn? Or, like a lot of people, is Rebecca the only one by Daphne Du Maruier that you have read? Let me know. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I'll talk to you later.